Next up, we have Space Abyss, Lunar and Solar Mashup by El Chavasa. Hyper Mashup YouTube channel featured in Geometry Dash. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. At the time of recording, we recently passed 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you so much, everybody, for being here, and for following, and for sharing, and for liking, and commenting. It's insane. I was not expecting to make it this far, this quick, so I really, really appreciate it. Two disclaimers. Number one, this is my first time ever listening to this track, so I will be pausing a lot, and I will be yapping a lot, as I will be explaining things as I hear them, or as I realize them. And number two, this is recorded live on stream on a single take, so I might stumble upon my words. Whatever happens, happens. With that being said, let's do this. Space Abyss. Let's go. Okay. We start with a distant piano giving us an initial motif. Motif, of course, being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And in this case, it's interesting, the tone of the piano that we got is pretty interesting because it was almost mixed with a harpsichord. It sounded very much like in between a piano and a harpsichord. A very, very interesting sound that we got there. And then we got the new piano. We're going to go back for like a second so we can hear that difference. But it's an interesting like downwards cascade that we are getting for this. Let me go back a second. Let's see the change. All right. Okay, so now two things are happening. Now we introduce a full piano, because the first layer of piano that we had at the very start was just one note at a time, having this like cascading motif. Now we got the full piano, which in musical terms is both hands. Piano is a two-hand instrument that you can have two separate parts playing simultaneously. Usually the way it is, especially nowadays, right hand is the melody, left hand is the chords. And first layer that we had was a melody on the lower end of the piano, which is usually where you put the chords. So it was a good way of flipping things around before it even started. Now we brought in the chords. The chords are doing the rhythm of the motif, while the melody is doing the overall shape of the motif, while adding a couple of extra notes, embellishing the motif a little bit. And we added then a drum set. To this, we are repeating the motif again. We added a couple of extra synths to add a bit more adornment. And let me go back to hearing that transition. There's no organ. Okay, so we switched the melody from the right-hand piano to a synth. So likely, if you do this in a live setting, it can be really cool. Because on live performances, you can have one keyboard that has the piano setup, or keyboards nowadays, you can actually switch them, like half of it is going to sound like a piano and the other half is going to sound like a synth. So you can just swap the settings and you're getting the same thing, but now we have the same melody, it just sounded... It sounded a little bit like an organ synth for a second. The thing is that I paused it very fast. So yeah, no, it's just a synth with kind of like this sparkling, a little bit of percussive sound, and of course, drums. That adding drums just adds so much to it. Let's see where it goes. There was no drums. It was just another synth that sounded percussive, that was in the background, establishing a little bit more rhythm. And there you go. Yeah, I am wearing earbuds. I'm wearing in-ear monitors because The big ones, like I have a couple of pairs of these ones, but the audio of these ones bleed into the microphone. So I wear in-ear monitors. So let's see where this goes. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so several things happened. So there was a synth in the back in the previous repeat that was kind of emulating what the drums are doing right now, giving us a preview of that rhythm. And now we included the drums. I'm gonna bring it up. So it is so important when you have drums. And it's incredible how much your rhythm section can really change what is happening. I always bring up this example. If you want an example of how much drums can really, really affect the music around it, listen to the intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. It happened, boys, it happened. In this song, The Mirror by Dream Theater, the guitar is doing the exact same thing for an entire minute. Cha-cha-chung, 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 cha-cha-chung. That's it. That's all it's doing for 1 minute straight, and it is the drums, and it is the keyboard and the bass that change around it, and there are times when it is genuinely difficult to tell that the guitar is actually doing something else. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. And in essence, something like this is happening here, where we went from one type of rhythm to now having the full drums, and it's just completely changing the connotations of everything. Hey, welcome today. How you doing? Yes, Mel, indeed. So yeah, there isn't too much, like musically speaking, there isn't that much of a difference between this repetition and the previous repetition. There are a couple of extra layers to add a bit more texture and highlight some of the elements that we already have. But the big change here was adding the drums with instrumentation. That was it. That was it. Instrumentation. We changed from that rhythmic synth to a full-on drum, and now we get this. It just, the pace is there now. Let's see where it goes. And yes, they are electric. This whole thing is electronic. And most importantly, we added one more synth, and we changed the melody. The melody is now, I would say, a partial inversion of the original motif that we had. Because the motif was going downwards and downwards and downwards. This one, it was going downwards and upwards and downwards and upwards. So, inversion in music, there are three main elements in music. There's melody, there's harmony, there's rhythm. When it comes to melody, the concept of inversion means to flip something upside down. So let's say we have this shape for the melody, and an inversion, a full inversion, would be we take this concept and we flip it upside down, and that's an inversion. In this case, however, we are doing what could be a partial inversion. Or, I mean, the motif itself is pretty small because the full melody is the motif being repeated a couple of times. So what do? We take the second part of the motif and we apply it somewhere else with a partial inversion, giving us a similar-ish shape. It's just distorted in a certain way. And it's possible that we're also using a retrograde. When it comes to inversion, another way of developing is with a retrograde. Retrograde is what you call it when you take a motif or a musical idea and you flip it backwards. And then if you take that and you flip that upside down, then you get your retrograde inversion. These are concepts that were mostly really explored musically with the concept of 12-tone music. They existed in Counterpoint before that, but yeah, when Buzzcut, I had one 20 years ago, so that was more than enough for me. So, let's see where this goes. And again, we bring back the original motif, we change the drums, And we add a couple of extra synths to keep up with that new rhythm of the drums. The drums are doing this kind of like fill rhythm. It's not entirely a full-on beat, but yes, I'm wearing a wig right now. No, I'm not. No, I mean, you would have to. You would have to, but no, I ain't wearing no wig. This is all natural. Look, my last haircut was on September 11, 2012. That was my last full haircut when I was graduating high school. It had nothing to do with 9/11. It just happened to be the day I got my last haircut. And that's it. That was my very last haircut. After that, I've done like trimming the ends or something like that. But yeah, no, that was my last full haircut. Before that, I was in a traditional Catholic school, so very short hair, very very short hair. Remind me, I might show after this song on stream. I might show some older photos. Anyway, let's continue. Yep, so it turns out this was building up to. And we reach the drop of the beat. When it comes to music, you have to keep a very careful balance between what is new and what is familiar. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, you risk the listener getting bored, they tune out. Too much new stuff too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. However, nowadays we have three particular exceptions that I can think of. There might be more, but right now I can think of three. Electronic music with dropping the beat, metal with breakdowns, and in general, for every genre, solos. This is when, Nico, welcome to the day, how you doing? This is when you can completely bring new material completely unrelated to anything else, and you can get away with it, because during dropping the beat, breakdowns or solos, it is the rule of cool. So that's what we're getting right now. Completely unrelated material. It just sounds really cool under this drum, under this this drum that plays after the dropping of the beat. Let's see where it goes. Burning me hard. Careful, okay? Nice. Ooh, and every in between, we are getting those, a couple of chords here and there, kind of hidden, kind of not, with the chords, with the chord progression that we're using. So we are still introducing some elements of familiarity, but not entirely. It's pretty well hidden. It's pretty subtle, it's pretty well hidden. So let's see. Okay, so now with that, we bring back the original motif with this new drum beat that we were using. I mean, the drum beat comes back to this. We are bringing back this one. So structurally speaking, we are doing... Oh, if you hear me twice, that means you should refresh, because it could be the Twitch app bugging out. So... structurally speaking, when it comes to music, especially in classical music, we use what is called form, which is just a fancy way of saying structure. When it comes to music, when it comes to instrumental pieces, you need to use letters to signify where you are. In our case, we had a short intro to introduce the piano, the chords, and everything. Then we went to section A. Section A was bringing the melody with the new synths, with the drums, and all that kind of stuff. Section B, we could call that the drop of the beat that we just got now. And now we are back to section A. It's a variation because there are a couple of new elements. There's a second piano giving us a little bit of counterpoint. Counterpoint being the study of melodies. Usually it means when you have more than one melody interacting with each other kind of thing. So we are doing that. When you do that, it's a variation. you call it A prime. That's what the apostrophe over here symbolizes. Now we have one of two ways that it can go. We either will go back to B, or we will go over to a new section of C. Let's see where this goes. This still counts as part of A, still the same melody. I really like this. There's a second synth right now, giving us a very, very brief echo of the motif. It's one of those like super obnoxious synths that you get in electronic music, but it's somehow very far back, so it just sounds like an echo. This is cool. This is cool. I don't think I've heard this type of synth being used this way. Like usually it's a very in your face, almost like a siren, kind of like an alarm siren kind of thing. So it's pretty interesting to hear it being used as a secondary kind of echo. Let's see where it goes. So we're building now, and by the way, this section we can call going off the ramp. Going off the ramp is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial just means that there is no official academic term, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity of being able to explain. Going off the ramp is usually a transition where you want your listener to feel suspended up in the air, kind of like at the mercy of inertia, going off a ramp kind of thing. And yeah, that's exactly how we got here. How do you do that? You remove the drums. Maybe the bass too, which is we got both of them removed. And there we go. Let's see where it goes, because now we should be building up towards this. Correct, Nico. We bring back the drums. Okay, we had this same build-up last time, so I'm still going to attribute, or a similar enough build-up last time, so I am going to attribute this to still being part of Section A. So let's see where this goes. Jeffrey, so this dropping off the beat, really cool. Very similar to the one we got in Section B. So we are in Section B prime. Yes, I know. Imagine that I can write properly, okay? So, this is interesting, because usually when it comes to drops, you will hear completely new, unrelated material every time. But this time, they chose to do a variation of the original drop. So there you go. Nice. And now we're back to B. We're back to full-on B. Yeah, we're back to full-on B. Yeah, this is a pretty, like, yeah, no, we are adding extra drums, we're adding extra layers. We still have the melody, the half inverted weird melody that we got, and yeah, like, we got a fairly straightforward binary over here. Because we call it binary when you go from AB to AB. A simple binary would just be AB, maybe repeated. This is just a binary because we're on A, B, A prime, B prime, and we're probably going to have an outro. We're probably going to have an outro. Let's see if it's Very cool. Let's see how you're gonna end this. One more repetition. One more repetition, and oh my god, there's I like how we're just adding, like, it's like one extra thing, one or two extra things, mainly in the drums, mainly the wah-wahs that the bass gets, and it just changes so much, dude. It's awesome. And our outro mirrors our intro. Very, very straightforward, clever, efficient way of doing this. Let's see. Yeah, just flat out using the start of A prime as an outro. As long as you don't fade it out. Let's see. Let's see. And there you go. We bring one last bomb, and that's it. We end the track there. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I respect your ability to focus. Your chat is being crazy. It's okay, I can't read. So, there you go. There you go. Man. That was straightforward, very fun, just a fun beat, a solid motif. I would have liked to see more exploration of the motif, but yeah, no, Nico, do not. So yeah, no, I like it. I like it. So there you go. That was Space Abyss, Lunar and Solar Mashup by LFA from the Hyper Mashup CubixyBlue channel featured in Geometry Dash. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the video YouTube archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Become a member. One of them, paid subscription. Support this channel as much as you want, not at your own expense though. Once again, at the time of recording this video, we recently passed 3,000 subscribers. Thank you again for all of you for joining me here. I was not expecting to make this far, this fast, so I really do appreciate everybody being here. It's awesome. You guys have turned everything upside down for me. So yes, if you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down below in the description. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, if you're on the live stream, do not request just yet. And if you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord server, link down below, go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned messages there. And if you want to catch the streams and when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. Full stream schedule in your local time zone, up to date, linked in the Discord and the Twitch channels. They both have it showing in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel because of course we do, where we put the VODs of the gaming after shows if they happen. Games are Basterd. Link down below, or just search on YouTube for same username as James R. Basterd. You swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. That was fun, man. That was fun. Space Abyss. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.